My name is Sophie Bennett. I am 28, and I thought this birthday would finally be my day. I had spent weeks preparing, ordering an chocolate cake with cream, frosting, curating a playlist of lively indie songs and hanging strings of warm fairy lights across my apartment in Dayton, Ohio. I had been saving for months to make it feel special, not extravagant, just mine. I pictured laughter filling the room, glasses clinking, maybe even a toast in my honor. For once I had been working tirelessly as a financial analyst, covering every expense for the apartment I owned, the place my family sometimes stayed in, hoping that today they might notice me. But as guests started arriving, I found myself in the center of the living room, trying to keep everything running smoothly. Colleagues mingled, swapping office stories, neighbors nibbled on snacks, and my parents chattered. By the sofa I straightened the snack table, arranged the sandwiches and veggie trays, neatly refilled drinks, and smiled politely. I wanted for just one day to feel seen. Then Clara entered, radiating confidence, clutching a crisp envelope. My stomach dropped. I knew that look. She was about to take over. My mum stood, her voice sharp and full of pride, announcing that Clara had news to share. All eyes turned to her. I gripped a stack of napkins, my smile fading. Clara held up the envelope, her eyes sparkling, and announced she had been accepted into a prestigious master's program in New York with a full scholarship. The room erupted in excitement. My dad patted her shoulder, exclaiming, "That's our shining star." My mom embraced her, laughing louder than the chatter of guests. Everyone crowded around, asking about her plans, professors, and future prospects. I froze, napkins still in hand, feeling my role as host slip away. In minutes, my birthday celebration had vanished. Clara's friends arrived uninvited, their voices overwhelming the music I had chosen. Someone handed her a portable speaker, and she played her own energetic playlist. My dad poured drinks for her, group grinning as if he were hosting, while my mom waved me over to get more ice, cheerfully saying we were celebrating what, not me. I nodded, walked to the kitchen, my chest tightening. When I returned, Clara had completely taken over. She grabbed the microphone from the karaoke set I rented and launched into a speech about her journey, her voice booming across the room. Guests cheered, some even chanting her name. My parents started a trivia game about her school, handing out keychains as prizes. I tried to participate, offering a plate of snacks, but everyone was too focused on Clara. My hands trembled as I placed the plate down and stepped to the edge of the room. Then she made it worse. She approached the cake table, my cake, the one I had spent $200 on, with "Happy 28th" written on it, and without asking began slicing it, handing pieces to her friends to new beginnings. She toasted, raising a slice as if it were her celebration. My mom recorded it all, gushing about pride, and my dad joined in filming, shouting that it would go viral. No one mentioned my name, no one sang happy birthday. I watched helplessly as my cake disappeared and my special day was stolen. I tried to speak up, suggesting softly, "Maybe we can do a toast now," my voice barely audible over the music. My mom glanced over, distracted. Someone handed her a portable speaker, and she played her own energetic playlist. My dad poured drinks for her, group grinning as if he were hosting, while my mom waved me over to get more ice, cheerfully saying we were celebrating what, not me. I nodded, walked to the kitchen, my chest tightening. When I returned, Clara had completely taken over. She grabbed the microphone from the karaoke set I rented and launched into a speech about her journey, her voice booming across the room. Guests cheered, some even chanting her name. My parents started a trivia game about her school, handing out keychains as prizes. I tried to participate, offering a plate of snacks, but everyone was too focused on Clara. My hands trembled as I placed the plate down and stepped to the edge of the room. Then she made it worse. She approached The cake table, my cake bear, one I had spent $200 on with Happy 28 written on it, and without asking began slicing it, handing pieces to her friends to new beginnings. She toasted, raising a slice as if it were her celebration. My mom recorded it all, gushing about pride, and my dad joined in filming, shouting that it would go viral. No one mentioned my name, no one sang happy birthday. I watched helplessly as my cake disappeared and my special day was stolen. I tried to speak up, suggesting softly, maybe we can do a toast now, my voice barely audible over the music. My mom glanced over, distracted. My name is Nora Blake, and that night felt like my world was quietly collapsing. My father did not even lift his eyes from his phone while my throat tightened as if I were swallowing glass. I moved toward the snack table, pretending to rearrange it, but my hands were trembling. One of Clara's friends brushed past me, spilling soda on the cloth. He laughed, said sorry, and went right back to cheering for her. I grabbed a napkin, not to clean but to hold on to something, anything that would keep me from falling apart. Across the room, my boyfriend watched me, his eyes heavy with concern. He tilted his head as if he could see right through the smile I was forcing. I looked away, pretending to be fine, but inside everything was breaking. I heard my mother telling a neighbor how Clara was destined for greatness, how she and my father had spent thousands on her preparation courses. The same woman who told me when I bought this apartment that I was lucky to have space for them to stay. My father bragged about Clara's college essays, never once mentioning the nights I stayed awake sorting their bills. I was the one paying the mortgage, the utilities, this entire celebration, and yet I did not exist. The next morning, my birthday felt like a memory erased. I woke up with a knot in my chest, replaying every laugh, every cheer that wasn't for me. I sat at the kitchen table staring at my cold coffee until I decided to check my savings. I opened my laptop, logged in, and froze. My balance was lower, far lower than it should have been. $20,000 that I had saved through years of extra shifts and quiet sacrifices was gone. My fingers shook as I scrolled down the page. There it was, a transfer made 3 weeks ago, labeled Clara's tuition. My parents still had access from years ago. When I added them for emergencies, they had used it without telling me to pay for Clara's new university course. But that was not all. Smaller withdrawals appeared across months, 500 here, 200 there, for applications, flights, tutoring, every single one for Clara, all without asking. I slammed the laptop shut, my pulse pounding. I had paid every bill in this home while they lived rent-free, and they had still taken from me. I walked to the living room, my mother reading quietly, my father flipping through channels. Clara still asleep upstairs, probably dreaming about her next achievement. Did you take 20,000 from my savings? I asked, my voice shaking. My mother looked up only slightly and said we needed it for Clara's tuition. You know how important this is. My father muted the television and said calmly, it is family money. Nora, you are doing fine. You can handle it. Family money, I whispered. I earned every cent of that while you both watched. That was my savings. You never even asked. My mother sighed, like I was the one being unreasonable. Clara's future matters, she said. This is for all of us, the family. Always the family, never me. My father nodded, promising, we will pay you back, just relax. But they did not understand. They had stolen from me and expected peace. I stood there, my fists clenched, my palms bleeding under my nails. You had no right, I said. They did not answer. My mother lifted her book again, murmuring that I was making it too dramatic. My father unmuted the TV, dismissing me completely. I turned away the room, spinning my stomach tight with betrayal. I reopened my laptop and pulled up every bank statement from the past year. The numbers did not lie. $6,000 in smaller withdrawals on top of the tuition, hotel bookings for Clara's campus visits, test preparation courses, even a new laptop marked for school, all taken from my account, all without a single conversation. I grabbed my phone and texted my boyfriend. They took 20,000 and more. He called immediately, his voice steady but urgent. That is theft, he said. You need to lock them out of your account and get a lawyer. He was right. I called my bank, changed the account access and set up two-factor authentication to keep them out. Then I searched for attorneys in Dayton, finding one who specialized in financial disputes. I sent her an email explaining the unauthorized withdrawals, my parents' access and my ownership of the apartment. She responded within an hour, offering to meet tomorrow to discuss legal options. My savings were supposed to be my safety net, my chance to build something for myself. They had taken that just like they had taken my birthday. I sat back staring at the screen, my anger hardening into resolve. This was not just about money. It was about respect, about my life. I was not going to let them take anything else. I was going to take control. Starting now, I sat at the kitchen table, morning sunlight streaming through the blinds. My coffee had gone cold, but my resolve was burning. I had spent enough time being the one who gave in, who paid for everything, who let my family walk over me. Not anymore. I opened my laptop, typed a letter, and hit print. The printer hummed, spitting out 3 crisp pages. I stacked them neatly, set them in the center of the table, and waited. I did not know what they would say, but I was ready. This was my line in the sand. My mom walked in, first her slippers shuffling against the floor. She reached for the coffee pot, then stopped, her eyes landing on the papers. What is this? She asked, her voice sharp, like she already knew it was trouble. She picked up the top sheet, her hands steady at first. Then her eyes widened, her mouth fell open, and she screamed, Nora. What is this? The paper shook in her grip as she read aloud, notice to vacate 30 days to leave the premises. Her voice cracked shrill, enough to rattle the windows. You are selling the apartment. You are kicking us out. My dad rushed in, his robe half tied, his face creased with confusion. What is going on? He demanded, snatching another copy. He scanned it, his jaw tightening. This is your apartment, Nora, but we are your family. You cannot do this. I leaned back in my chair, my heart pounding, but my voice calm. I can, I said. The deed is in my name. The mortgage is mine. You have been living here for free, and I am done. Clara stormed in next to her, hair a mess, her eyes blazing. She grabbed the last letter, read it, and threw it down. You are pathetic, she spat. All this over a stupid party. I stood up, my gaze locked on hers. It is not about the party, I said. It is about you taking my money, my home, my life, and acting like it is yours. My mom's face turned red, her voice rising to a shriek. After everything we have done for you, she yelled, tearing her letter in half, the pieces fluttering to the floor. We gave you a home. I did not flinch. You have been living in my home. I said I have paid every bill, every mortgage payment, while you spent my savings on Clara. My dad stepped forward, his hands raised, trying his usual peacemaker routine. Let's calm down, he said. We can talk this out. We are family. I shook my head, my voice steady. You had years to talk, I said. You chose to take instead. This ends now. Clara laughed, a sharp mocking sound. You are jealous, she said. You cannot stand that I am going to New York University, that I am actually making something of myself. I met her eyes unflinching. You are going nowhere if you think my money is paying for it, I said. My mom lunged for the remaining letters, trying to grab them off the table. This is my apartment too, she shouted. You cannot just throw us out. I stepped in front of her, my voice cold. It is not your apartment, I said. It is mine, and I have the paperwork to prove it. The front door opened, and Ethan walked in, his keys jingling in his hand. I had texted him to come over, knowing I would need backup. He took one look at the scene, my mom's red face, the torn paper, Clara's glare, and stepped beside me. Everything okay? He asked, his voice calm but firm. It is fine, I said, handing him a copy of the letter. He read it quickly, his jaw tightening, then looked at my mom. This is Nora's call, he said. She has been more than fair. My mom turned on him, her voice venomous. This is none of your business, she snapped. Ethan did not back down. It is her apartment, he said. Her money, her decision. Clara rolled her eyes, muttering, you are both ridiculous. I ignored her, turning to my laptop. I am meeting my lawyer tomorrow. I told them she is pulling the deed, the mortgage records, everything. This is happening. My dad tried one last time, his voice low, almost pleading. Think about what you are doing. Nora, he said, kicking out your own family. That is cold. I looked at him, my resolve unshaken. Taking my money without asking, that is colder, I said. My mom started crying, loud, dramatic sobs, but I did not budge. I opened my laptop, pulled up my mortgage account and started downloading documents, proof of every payment I had made, every dollar that was mine. Ethan sat beside me, his presence steady. You have got this, he whispered. I took a deep breath, closed my laptop, and realized I needed to get out of there. I could not bear to face my family anymore, not after everything they had done. Ethan's apartment was small, with just one bedroom and a sofa I had temporarily turned into a bed, but it felt like a safe haven. The next day at work, hunched over spreadsheets in my cubicle at the accounting firm, Raymond, my co-worker, slid his phone toward me. Nora, you need to see this, he said, his voice low, almost apologetic. I opened Facebook and my stomach twisted. Clara had posted publicly, my sister is kicking our family out because she is jealous of my New York university acceptance. She is selfish, heartless, and ruining our lives. 80 likes, 30 comments, all tearing into me. Friends calling me cold, vindictive, a disgrace to family. My hand shook, my face hot. The office felt smaller, the hum of keyboards and phones drowned out by whispers from the break room. Colleagues glanced my way, their eyes curious, judgmental. Clara's post was not just a jab. It was a public attack, poisoning my reputation at work in our town. I wanted to call her, scream at her, but I was surrounded by co-workers, their stares heavy. I texted Ethan a screenshot. Clara is trashing me online. I wrote, he replied instantly, come to the coffee shop after work, we will figure it out. Nodded to myself, trying to focus on my spreadsheets, but the words blurred, Clara's lies echoing in my head. At the coffee shop, Ethan was waiting, his laptop open, a cup of black coffee in hand. He is trying to turn everyone against you, Ethan said, scrolling through the post. But you have the truth on your side. He pulled up my bank statements. 20,000 for Clara's tuition, 6,000 more for her applications and travel, all taken without my permission. He had also saved a bank receipt showing a direct payment to New York University admissions from my account. This proves they used your money, he said, copying the files to a USB drive. You can show the world she is lying. I nodded, my anger sharpening into focus. Clara's post was not going to break me. It was proof I was right to sell the apartment. I called my lawyer from the coffee shop, her number on speed dial. Clara is spreading lies about me, I said, sending her their screenshot. She is calling me selfish, but they took 26,000 from my savings. My lawyer's voice was steady. Her post is damaging, she said. We can use the financial evidence to back up your eviction notice and counter her claims if needed. I did not want a public fight, but I needed to protect myself, keep the evidence ready. I told her I want the sale to go through without their interference. She agreed, confirming the eviction notice was legally sound, backed by my ownership of the apartment back at Ethan's apartment. We went through the evidence again. He pulled up the bank receipt matching it to the statements. They cannot deny this, he said, his voice firm. You paid for their lives and they turned on you. I leaned back on his couch, the weight of Clara's post still heavy but fueling my resolve. I called Clara, my voice cold, steady. I saw your Facebook post. One said you are lying about me. Take it down. She laughed, sharp and bitter. Why should I, she said. People deserve to know what you are doing to us. I gripped the phone, my knuckles pale. You are living in my apartment using my money, I said. Take it down or everyone will see. The truth about you. She scoffed. You are pathetic, she said. Then hung up. I sat back, my heart racing, but not with doubt, with certainty. Clara's refusal to back down only made me sharper. Selling the apartment was not just about money. It was about cutting them out of my life. The next day at the office, Raymond approached. Again, his face uneasy. People are still talking about the post, he said. It's getting around. I felt a pang of embarrassment, but I straightened up. Let them talk, I said. I know the truth. I emailed my lawyer the bank receipt and statements, asking her to keep them on file. She replied, confirming the apartment sale was on track with no legal challenges from my family. That evening at Ethan's, I felt lighter. His apartment, with its warm lights and quiet comfort, was a world away from my family's drama. I opened my laptop, checked the lawyer's latest email, and saw she had prepared a response to any potential pushback from my parents or Clara. Ethan sat beside me, his hand on mine. You are almost there, he said, his voice soft but strong. They cannot stop you now. I nodded, a small smile breaking through Clara's post. Her lies, her attack. They were not chains anymore. They were the final push I needed to let go to sell that apartment, to start over. The 30-day deadline passed. Quickly I drove back to the Dayton apartment to make sure they had moved out. The street was quiet, the driveway empty except for a beat-up moving truck parked. Quickly, my neighbor Clara had texted me the day before. They are packing, but it is messy. Looks like they are not happy. I did not respond. I did not need their approval. I just needed my apartment back, my life back. I stepped out of my car, my heart steady, ready to close this chapter. The front door was unlocked, the apartment eerily silent. My mom, my dad, and Clara had left, but not without a final jab. The living room was a mess. Trash bags stuffed with old clothes, a broken lamp in the corner, and a car smear of marker on the wall. Jagged lines spelling out, "Thanks, Nora." The sarcasm stung, but I did not flinch. They tried to leave their mark, to make me clean up one last time. I would not. I called my realtor Hannah and told her about the mess. I will handle it, she said. The buyers still want the apartment. I nodded, relieved. This was not my problem anymore. I walked through the rooms, the floors creaking under my steps, the kitchen once cluttered with my mom's dishes and Clara's half-finished coffee cups was bare except for a pile of junk in the sink, empty takeout containers, a cracked mug. They had left it for me to deal with. A petty parting shot. I took photos, sent them to Hannah, and told her to bill the cleaning to the sale. My parents and Clara thought they could guilt me. Even now, they were wrong. I had paid for this apartment, every mortgage payment, every utility bill, and I was not their maid anymore. Hannah had worked fast. The apartment went on the market 2 weeks ago, priced at $260,000, competitive for Dayton. We had had 3 offers in days, and I picked a young family eager to start fresh. Just like me, I had signed the closing papers at Hannah's office yesterday, my hand steady as I handed over the deed. The money minus the mortgage hit my account this morning. I stood in the empty living room, the walls echoing with silence, and felt a weight lift. This apartment was not my home anymore. It was a chain I had broken. Ethan pulled up in his truck, his smile bright as he stepped out. "They are gone?" he asked, glancing at the trash bags. I nodded. "And the apartment is sold," I said. He wrapped an arm around me, his warmth grounding. "You are free," he said, his voice soft but sure. I leaned into him, the cool October air brushing my skin. For the first time in years, I felt unburdened, like I could breathe without their expectations pressing down on me. We spent the afternoon packing my things, clothes, a few books, my laptop, the rest old furniture, kitchen stuff I had donated or sold. With the apartment, it did not matter. I was not tied to this place anymore. By dusk, my car was loaded, and Ethan's truck carried the rest. We were moving to Indianapolis, a new city, a new chapter. I had landed a senior accounting job there, a step up with better pay. Ethan had a contract with an engineering firm nearby, and we had rented a small apartment together. a place with hardwood floors and a balcony, overlooking the city as we drove. Away the Dayton apartment shrank in the rear view. Mirror, I did not feel regret or sadness, just relief. The sunset painted the sky gold and I let out a breath I had been holding for too long. Ethan reached over his hand, finding mine. "You okay?" he asked, his eyes on the road. I smiled, a real smile, not forced. "I am good," I said. "Really good." The radio played softly, the road stretching toward Indianapolis, its lights flickering in the distance. When we reached the apartment, it was dark, but we did not care. We hauled in the essentials, my suitcase, Ethan's toolbox, a box of dishes, and stood in the bare living room. It was small, simple, with blank walls and a view of the city skyline, but it was ours. I walked to the balcony, the city buzzing below, and felt a quiet joy. I did not have to carry my family's weight anymore, did not have to fix their messes. I was done being invisible. It has been a year since I left Dayton behind, and standing here in Indianapolis, I can finally say I am home. My new life feels like a dream I did not know I could have. I am a senior accountant, now leading a small team at a firm downtown. The work is challenging, but I love it. Managing projects, mentoring new hires, building something that is mine. Last month, Ethan and I got married in a small, cozy ceremony at a park near our apartment. Just close friends, a few co-workers, and a sunset that turned the sky pink. I wore a simple white dress, and Ethan could not stop smiling as we exchanged vows. It was not flashy, but it was ours, and every moment felt right. I have not spoken to my family since they left my old apartment. I do not follow their lives, but word gets around. Clara, my neighbor from Dayton, texted me a few months ago. She had heard through mutual friends that my parents were struggling, renting a cramped apartment in a nearby town, barely covering bills. Clara, she said, dropped out of New York University after a semester, could not afford the costs without my support. She is working part-time at a coffee shop now, still posting about her big plans online, but nobody buys it anymore. I do not feel joy hearing this, but I do not feel guilt either. They made their choices just like I made mine. The truth about Clara's Facebook post came out not long after I moved. Raymond, my old co-worker, called me one day, his voice light. "People know you were right," he said. He had overheard colleagues talking at the firm, piecing together what happened. Someone had seen the bank records my lawyer shared with a mutual acquaintance, proof that my family took $26,000 from my savings. The gossip shifted. Clara's post, once a wildfire, fizzled out. Her friends stopped commenting, and some even unfollowed her. Clara said the neighborhood knew too. My parents' excuses did not hold up once people saw the real story. I did not have to say a word. My actions, my choice to walk away, spoke for me. I think about that post sometimes, how it was meant to break me. It did not push me to stand taller, to build a life where I am not someone's backup plan. Ethan has been my rock through it all, not just as my husband, but as the one who saw me when my family did not. Our apartment is small, with creaky floors and a tiny balcony, but it is filled with laughter, late night talks, and plans for the future. I am not carrying anyone else's weight anymore. I am not cleaning up their messes. I am just living for me. Looking back, I see it clearly now. Family is not about who you are tied to by blood. It is about who respects you, who lifts you up. I spent years thinking I had to earn their love, that I had to give until I had nothing left. I was wrong. I learned to set boundaries, to choose myself, and it has made all the difference. I am happier than I have ever been, not because of where I am, but because of who I have become. If you have ever had to walk away from family to find yourself, drop a comment below. I would love to hear your story.